So it's been a few minutes since I've been stood right here in the game room, which as you can see is pretty darn dismantled, or maybe you haven't been following the kind of packing away of this and don't know that I'm moving. But yeah, I apologise for the mess behind me, but a lot of clarity will become clear over the next couple of weeks, and I should have lots of good updates as to what is happening with the move. Now, I kind of figured I'd put the brakes on and show you guys some recent things that I've been collecting over the past couple of weeks, and as you know, it's been a lot slower compared to what I'm previously used to, but I've found some good charity shop bargains and game hunts, and things will start to change on the channel going forward. Now, I've also, just want to put it out there, I just want to spend a brief minute talking about the Amiga, because I have ordered an Amiga CD32 and I decided to go with a 32 over a 1200 because I wanted a slight change in hardware design and feel, because I have an Amiga 500 Plus and I have an Amiga 600 fit with a GoTech drive with lots of different ROMs on to be able to play. So for me, I said, do I want to go with the 1200 as it's obviously very similar in terms of its aesthetics, or do I want to go with the CD32 and have the power of a 1200 but have something like a kind of console feel rather than a home computer feel? Now, I'm not going to get it for a good couple of weeks yet, and that's because it's being cleaned and recapped by Retro Passion. So when the CD32 comes, I've decided I'm going to take a deep dive into the 32 and really look at the hardware, some of the games, and pull out some of the absolute pearlers on that console. So please stay tuned for that. I've got a couple of bits to show you now, and yeah, we'll just get straight into it. So I've only really just been recently able to start buying video games again, as all of the financial stuff for the house is pretty much done. So this morning, this arrived, in fact these arrived. Got the new Joy-Cons for Skyward Sword, and I'm not a huge lover of peripherals when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, but I kind of figured this. Well, let me backtrack a little. When Skyward Sword HD was announced, I said publicly that I wasn't going to be purchasing it, and that's because I wasn't a huge fan of it on the Wii. We also have a copy of the game here, by the way, so these things will become very apparent as to why I've got them both. But I did watch Digital Foundry's video, and there were a couple of selling points in that video for Skyward Sword HD that I said, do you know what? I'm going to make this my first purchase after all of the financial stuff for the house is done. And it was things like, when you're on the Wii and you're kind of in the very early stages of the game, there are lots of interruptions in the game, and that NPCs literally stop Link and embroil you in conversation that you kind of feel doesn't add much value. Because for me, playing a Zelda game had, you know, like something like Ocarina of Time, where you're just able to freely move around, whether you're on Epona or you're on foot. And if you want to talk to people, you can go and choose and talk to people rather than them just having no choice and them physically just stopping you. Well, apparently on the HD version, they don't just stop you anymore. There is a choice. A little kind of speech bubble appears above the heads of the NPCs, and you can choose to interact with them. Therefore, this particular version has much less interruptions into the flow of the game. So I thought to myself, okay, that's a massive factor for me there. And for somebody that also streams, I kind of thought that that would be a really good caveat for me to want to actually jump into this. That was huge. So for Digital Foundry fans, if like, shout out to you guys. I love Digital Foundry. I love Digital Foundry, and it really just swayed my decision in being able to pick this up. And I thought I would celebrate, obviously, and capitalize on that with the gorgeous Skyward Sword HD Joy-Cons, which the colour of these, I really like how they've just that each one is a slightly different colour. You've got the purple on the right and the kind of Master Shield blue on the left Joy-Con. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to kind of geek out here, and I'm actually going to just buy that. these together. So really happy with that, and I'm happy to dive into this. Not only is it running at a stable 60 frames per second, I'm led to believe we've got crisper edges on the visuals, crisper all around, but for me it was that kind of lack of interruption with this that really sold me. So if you're getting Skyward Sword HD, tell me why, what was the caveat for you that actually swayed you into picking this up. But if you don't, do know that it does hold up reasonably well on the Wii. Yes, we're rocking a 480p, but it does look really nice. So Skyward Sword, I'm going to be doing a full series of this over on my Twitch. Back in 2010, the Nintendo DSi was launched, and this bad boy capitalised on the Nintendo DS with its 2 cameras. Now this is quite a cool little story behind this, because this I actually picked up from a charity shop with the charger for only £10. Didn't bother filming it because it was a very brief exchange of me purchasing this, but I've decided that I would really like a pink DSi to be able to play some Pokemon games on. Now when I move, there's a couple of new Pokemon games that I do want to get, and I did message a chap recently on Facebook, and I tried to buy Diamond from him, and there was another one, I'll put a picture on screen, and he just wasn't happy to sell them to me. He wanted to sell his particular lot as a bundle. So I'm going to be resorting to buying those titles, and I'm going to be using this to be able to play some Pokemon games. And I've decided that I thought this would be a nice little device for me. You know, when I'm traveling, it's super light. Pink and yellow, of course, my favourite colours in the whole wide world, and this is actually a very good condition DSi, as far as £10 goes anyway. So this was actually priced at 30 quid. So when she said she'd do it for a tenner, I was absolutely blown away, and because it had been in there for so long, she decided to let it go for a tenner. So thank you very much, and I just wanted to quickly mention that. And if you've got any recommendations for Pokemon stuff, smash me a comment below. So if you saw my last episode, we were at a car boot, and I picked up a Nintendo GameCube with no leads and no controllers, and a Sega Mega Drive Model 2 with no leads and no controllers. What I'm actually going to be doing with them is testing them to make sure that they actually run. That's when I move, because everything is packed away. And I'm thinking I might go in for some customs. So I'm going to be contacting Rob at Raw Talent Art, who is my kind of go-to custom guy. And I thought I'd, you know, maybe kind of generate some ideas as to what would be a cool GameCube paint custom job. Should we go for like maybe a SNES themed GameCube? That would actually be really cool. Hey, I may have actually just convinced myself of something there. A SNES themed GameCube might actually get that done. And also the Sega Mega Drive. What would you have? It's again the Model 2. What would you have done? Let's generate some ideas, and I'll probably pick the best idea that has the most thumbs up in the comment section. I will go with that. Okay, I've probably looped myself into something really bad there, but the comment for the Sega Mega Drive custom, the one with the most thumbs up, I'll go with it, and I'll get that done as soon as I move. So this is a much shorter episode than what I'm kind of used to, because again, I haven't really bought much stuff, but do expect me to be deep diving into more stuff as we go along, especially the CD32. I'm really looking forward to that. I've decided against getting a CRT TV for now, because I don't know how the new Lady Lounge is going to pan out, but I will have an older flat screen in there. I'm going to be mounting that on the wall, and if you want to follow the journey of how the new 2 rooms come along during the move, please subscribe. But if not, it's cool, just enjoy the content and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.